Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Who y'all talking to?
I told Ricky and got him.
What's happening?
That is so unusual.
Blog Talk Radio.
Is Mike okay? Is Mike okay? I can't hear the music.
It's what makes us different.
Maybe you got the wrong. I can hear it. You can't hear it. Don't touch mine, man.
Can't hear it.
We're live.
Can't hear.
Everybody says we're live. Welcome to.
We are live.
We're gonna change the name of the show first off. That's the first order of business, called the Kae Thompson Live. Sunshine! I like that. That's good choice of music, Mom. My mother knows some good music.
I know.
She used to know some
That's
good music.
me.
She's
Used
got
to
some
know.
music, but
Well,
used
you
to
got
be
a
the.
beginning.
My mom. Whoa, that's my cell phone. Somebody calling me. It's live radio.
Sure
We're
is.
GoPro Radio,
Yeah.
yo.
Standing by, hope it's you and
And
Scott. We're gonna find out.
the name of the
This
show is the Kae Thompson Live Show.
Right.
That wasn't your phone ringing.
No, I know.
That was
But
my
I got
phone.
to have to turn mine off.
But anyway,
So
the
anyway.
Kae Thompson Live Show. We're gonna change the name to Kae Thompson Live, the Kae Thompson and Son
Live.
Live Show.
Okay, you want?
Yeah, just
Eric-
came up with that. But anyway,
Okay.
my name is Eric Payne.
No kidding. How you doing, Eric Payne?
I'm all right.
That's good.
What's your
That's
name?
good. My name is Kae Thompson.
Alrighty.
Payne.
Okay.
Use it when I have to.
And our show is brought to. I got all kind of things going on. But
Yeah,
our show is
yeah.
brought to you by
It's a fun night.
our
What the heck?
sponsors.
Yeah.
Reuben, Bogey's.
Yeah.
Bogey's Restaurant Lounge in East Orange, New Jersey, with the great food. 537,
Right.
I believe, William Street
That's
in
right.
East Orange, New Jersey.
And Lottie's.
They have Lottie's Restaurant inside. Yes, it's very good as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we also are brought to you by Vonda's Kitchen,
That's right.
which is at 180
West Kenny.
Street, 183 West Kenny Street, Newark, New Jersey.
Downtown Newark.
Comfort soul food for
Okay.
your for your So
This is going to
That's
be one of
what's
those
happening.
nights. There's a party going on here, everybody.
everybody
So we're
over
going
here,
to.
GoPro Radio.
We have a new segment, Eric, while you're going GoPro Radio Network. Okay. You know, the new segment is You're on the Air. So we're going to be opening up the phones as soon as we start getting these calls in. Let me give the number out for people to call in. This new segment, if it goes well, we will start that and keep it going for, like every other week or once every
Right.
3. Hi, Ty. How you doing?
What's up,
Ty
Ty?
Washington, first guy in here. You have to pick up the
Washington.
phone.
We
have a huge party going on.
Yeah.
Got a party going
Yeah,
on.
we'll talk honest.
Oh, yeah,
Come
we
on.
have
What's
a
the party?
relaunch.
Here.
And I'm here with Brent, who is also
Brent?
a very good friend
Come
of
on in
mine.
here,
Brent,
Brent.
yeah.
Writer. He has one of the hottest books
What?
out right now called Rapturous. Brent, you want to tell
Oh,
us?
I love the
Come on in,
picture.
Brent.
Come on in,
Maybe
Brent.
you
Tell
can sit one
this.
and sit
Yeah,
on it.
come on over here, Brent.
Want to start lining up those calls, though.
Oh, you know what? Let me sit next to you,
323-679.
Dave.
Come
Can
on.
I? Can I?
Sure.
Can I? Oh,
No.
I'll be right here. No, I'm gonna sit here.
No,
I'm
you
gonna sit here
can't.
this way. I got it.
It's his studio. No, you can't.
Now, do your listeners know that the reason why
Well, why don't you come
GoPro
here,
even
Brent? I'm sorry.
exists
Yeah, go ahead.
is
Because of Brent?
because of you. No, because of you. Remember,
Oh, really?
we used to go out
You're gonna
with.
be good.
We used to
My
go out
bag.
there in somewhere in
All right, I'll just leave
Secaucus.
it back
I don't want to
here.
give you a bat location because we have to keep that secret.
My name is
So it's somewhere out in Secaucus with
Somewhere.
the late and great
Yeah, Gus
Henningsberg, right? Who
Senior.
we
have to
senior.
make sure we
That's
say
right, senior.
Right.
Who we love and we miss. And later on, we're going to actually show a small snippet of snippet of the
That's
little
right,
feature
you're
that we
right.
did in honor of Gus Henningsberg.
Really? Oh,
The
that's
late
so
night
good.
Gus
No
Henningsberg.
kidding,
So we're going to
really?
show that to the
Okay,
folks who are
all
here,
right.
who are partying up front.
Are we
We
gonna
have
be
the
able to see it
GoPro
too?
cake. We have a lot. Oh yeah, with
Now,
GoPro.
see, he's talking food.
Right.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have food and stuff. But I just want everybody to know
That's
that,
why he brought me in here.
that we love and we respect you and we think
Well,
the world
thank
of you and we would not be here if it wasn't for you.
Are you serious?
Absolutely. We did our
Oh.
first show with you
Oh.
out there in Secaucus.
Yeah,
Remember
that's
going
right.
out there?
Yeah,
that started
yeah.
this whole idea and said, wait a minute, we have a studio.
Uh-huh.
We could probably
And
open
we were
this up
sitting
and to
down,
do for more
in
people.
there at, Gus's. Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
Right? So
Yeah.
this is great. You're
Yeah.
a great lady. And,
Well, thank you very much.
a real class act, a stateswoman, and she's been a real voice in the community for
That's right.
years.
My mom's been doing it for a
She's
while.
great.
She's been
That's
around,
right.
been doing radio in the area for a while, and a lot of people that listen to WLIB,
That's
which
right.
is the AM station
BLS,
of
those doing stuff on
WBLS.
BLS, you know,
That's
every
right.
now and then
And
also.
even you talk about Wendy Williams
Wendy
talking about
Williams.
wanting to be like you because
That's
you
right.
and her mom
That's
grew up together. So
That's right.
interviewed Jesse Jackson.
Wendy's doing it. I'm
And
telling
let me
you,
say, the apple
she's
doesn't fall too
fantastic.
far from the tree.
Yeah.
Visit Eric. I mean, he's no lightweight. I mean, he's been
Eric,
in all my
listen.
favorite films. He's a heck of an actor.
I know.
And
A little bit.
he's becoming a statesman now.
He's
with all
like
his
his
political
mother.
views. Oh, absolutely.
I've always had political views, brother. I just
Yeah,
wasn't part of the system.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. There.
Eric-
I was
South Bend,
outside the
California.
system, my
There you go.
man.
That's right. See?
I'm a revolutionary.
You got to. You look where we're living.
You know, exactly.
Come on.
You
Now,
can't,
see,
you
he
can't
said
believe
it.
all the
Yeah.
hoopla.
All right.
So, sir,
Brent.
we're here to interview Brent about your book real quick.
Yeah.
And what's your book about?
Well, the book is called Rapturous.
Mhm.
It's a work of fiction. I want to
Uh-huh.
stress that. It is about a group of people right in 2008 on the eve of the election when George Bush is trying to unleash the last war of the world.
Right.
And
I'm
they,
liking it already.
They come from all over the
Bring the mic
world.
closer to you.
Oh, they come from.
You can't hear. You can't hear.
All right.
Okay, yeah, gotta
They
bring
come from all over the world to find out what is going on.
Uh-huh.
And one day at the New York Stock Exchange, this guy, black guy with locks to his knees, shows up and says he's Jesus.
Wow.
All the stockbrokers disappear off the floor, and all hell
No
breaks
kidding.
loose.
Uh-huh.
And so the whole novel is about what's really going on in the world today. But given that the supernatural of an appearance by Jesus is very exciting.
You look like, you know, Jesus.
He black.
Rapturous.
I'm definitely white.
He knows his history.
You know this.
Brent knows his history.
Come on.
All right.
And
Okay.
there's a
Nothing wrong
cool
with
thing happening right now. I've taught theater in maximum security prisons for years. And right now there's this great program called the Shakespeare Prison Project. It's going on in Wisconsin, in
No
Racine,
kidding, really?
at Racine Correctional Facility. And so 10% of all my royalties this month are going to support that project. So if people would like to go to www.rapturousthenovel.com and get the book there, 10% of my royalties will go there. And also, if you sign up for the mailing list, we'll send you a way to get great discounts on a wonderful Shakespeare show running in the city right now, Bedlam Theater Company's
really?
Hamlet.
No kidding.
So
Where is Bedlam Theater Company now?
at 45 Bleecker Street
We're
Okay.
close, guys.
at the Culture Project.
I see.
And
Now-
it's amazing.
Now you talk about Shakespeare in prison, which to me is kind of a throwback to the original Shakespeare
You bet.
because back in the day when Shakespeare and they originally produced these films, a lot of the men would play the female roles. So in a men's prison, I'm sure that takes it back to the
We
the
actually
traditional.
bring in female actresses.
Really?
Oh,
No
I
kidding.
see.
And a lot of them cry when they leave because they say, why can't we find guys this respectful on the outside?
Yeah.
Really true.
I see.
Really
So
true.
it's not like the scenes you see on TV
This
where
is
they have
fascinating.
catcalling.
It, one of the I hate
not like,
the portrayal of prison. The
Yeah.
deepest, some of my deepest friendships and some of the deepest experiences of my life have happened behind the walls. And people say, "You're going to maximum, aren't
Yeah.
you scared?" And I say, "Yeah, I am, because that walk from my house to the subway is
That's right.
hell."
That's right.
But inside, it's so
work.
different. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so different.
You know what I found with people who, and we all know, and I'm sure you do, Ty, definitely know people that have been on the other side of the law, cats who've chosen, you know, and it's a real choice. Someone that says, I'm going to go by my rules or the rules of society.
Sure.
And they look at the absurdity of sometimes of the rules of society, and they decide to live their life based on their own rules. And, you know, you have organized crime, the mafia, the Sopranos, and these are extreme examples. But these are individuals who decided to live their lives on their terms, and they accept, you know, some of them accept the consequences. Some are you know, just as kind of a scandalous as what they do. But what I found is that when you deal with people in the streets, people that do crime, when they say they're going to do something, for the most part, they do it. They're very direct individuals. Very direct. There's no.
Are you talking about people when they get out of jail?
I'm talking about people who have chosen a life outside of the law to determine what they're going to do. And it's not always right what they do. I mean, if you're committing violent crimes against people and stuff like that, then you need to be dealt with. But to me, someone who says, I'm I'm going to do what I have to do to feed my family.
Exactly.
And put this together because I see the dudes on Wall Street, the Mitt Romneys of the world, and the George Bushes of the world.
Exactly.
Don't do it.
They're stealing countries.
Yeah.
I mean, not them literally, but you know what I mean. People with that mentality.
Their policies and their procedures
Exactly.
and the things that they do. So it's a double standard. So I definitely hear you on that.
Yeah.
Loud and clear.
And it's, well, you talk about the disparity of the sentencing with back in the day crack cocaine and powder cocaine and all that idiotic stuff. Just once you, as someone who's getting closer into politics now, which is what I hate, but once you become a part of the system, there's no beating the system. There's people talk about we want a third party, a third party system. That's not going to happen.
Not
the
unless
Democrats,
it's a third party capitalist system.
Exactly, because the Democrats and the Republicans, they're some people say they're two sides of the same coin, but you're playing in the same game.
They are. Exactly.
And everybody that chooses not to vote, not to get a part of the system, you're kind of giving up your right to have a say-so, so to speak. But even then, they're making it so expensive now with the Citizens United case and things like that. They make it so expensive for the average person to be a part of the political process when you have companies being deemed as human beings and donating as much money as they want, where it neutralizes the dollars and cents that you or I might give.
Right.
The 99% might give, and the 1% is able to control the majority.
But the other
of it.
aspect of this is a new form of slavery. Let's face it.
It is.
Because the majority of people are in jail, and they are African American, they are Latino American, Indian Americans, and minorities. As a matter of fact, and they're there, and they're actually financing the system, because we're talking about private businesses. They're putting black people in jail for little crimes, like what? About not a half a kilo. I don't even know what a half a kilo looks like, but anyway.
I have a friend doing life
but
without
anyway,
parole
life without
for
parole.
stealing a cell phone.
Exactly.
Because it was his third.
Yeah.
Third
Oh, really?
strike.
You talk to somebody like that?
That's in New York, or
You know, what I want you to
really
do.
good friends.
What I want you to do,
That's
Ty,
crazy.
thanks for bringing in. What is your name?
Brent
Brill.
I love this picture. God, man.
I know the caller has some views on the subject we're talking about. Go ahead, caller. Can you hear us? And you've been listening to the conversation.
But what we're doing now, I want to say, is that we were doing a segment on You're on the Air.
Okay.
Okay, so stay.
People-
Because you're on the air.
You have called.
And the people
is unavailable to take your call.
Okay.
Please leave a message.
All right, but she's getting the message right now. If you
Right.
called
Do I
that
need to put
same
this on?
number that I gave you, let me see, Yeah, that's the right number.
Right.
But that's a good point, But I think too, besides voting, there's a lot of activism that everyone must take. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys are doing it right now on the radio.
Yeah,
It's
have
a
to
form
do
of
it.
activism,
Yeah.
man. This goes against,
Well-
the mind poison that you're hearing on the media that's passing itself off as real news and journalism, and it's just entertainment.
Chief Jack customer
No
you have
journalism.
called is
And
unavailable.
what you guys are doing is actually speaking truth to power and giving
Yeah.
people a voice who don't have a voice.
Speaking
And I
truth to
think
power,
that-
that's what Andy Cooper had, in his
Oh, that's right,
newspaper,
that's right.
the City
The
Sun.
Sun.
Remember
Yeah,
that?
that's right.
Yeah,
The
the
City
City
Sun.
Sun.
Mr. Andy
Yeah.
Cooper, great
That's
guy.
right. Yeah.
I mean, that's true. And with technology nowadays, technology, your royalty is going to go to pay for that, Brent, when you break it. I'm just messing with you.
By the way,
Folks, call in, please. Buy a lot of books right now because
then you can pay for advertising on our
Brent
show.
just broke the mic, so what we're going to need y'all to do.
Want to know for the number? What's the number that we should tell people to call in for the segment? You're on the air.
323-679-0906.
679
0906.
0906. We're trying to get that other number right up the top.
okay.
Get Gina.
But I got to get ready to go because we have a lot of guests here.
Oh,
we have a
okay.
lot of folks. We have Eric
Big
Anders
party
Nelson
going
out
on.
there. You have a huge party because this is our relaunch party. You guys, I hope you guys are going to stay for the
GoPro
cake
Radio Network.
and so forth and so
Cake?
on. Right, I mean, and this is just
Cake.
so
You said
exciting to be in
the
this space
operative
right
word.
now. There's over a billion, 110 million people who are on Facebook.
No
There's
kidding.
Over 2
Wow.
billion
Oh,
computers in this
God,
world. So
yeah.
the world is getting closer
Over
together.
2 billion computers in the world?
That's right.
You mean devices? Digital devices.
Digital devices
Right, okay.
in the world. So the world is
Right.
becoming more and
And
more.
that's what I was going to say about technology nowadays.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, people can speak truth to power. Now,
Yeah.
people can get the stories out, just like
Yeah.
the Arab Spring
Yeah,
was
absolutely.
broken on Twitter.
Absolutely.
So now people can,
Communicate.
can communicate
And empower.
and also give people the real story of what's going on. Because the
Absolutely.
news was so. I mean, we just celebrated. We didn't celebrate. We commemorated the death the assassination of John F. Kennedy.
Yeah.
And there are very few individuals, even though the media, if you watched it on the news, they tried to put forth that it was still just Lee Harvey Oswald. Everybody knows that that's just
lonely.
Yeah, everybody knows that's bull right there. You can look at the tapes that they show and see this guy, see the president getting assassinated. So we know that that's, but when they control the dissemination of information, they control the minds. Now, with new technology, they cannot do that anymore.
Right.
So what you guys are doing is incredible.
Well, listen, wait a minute. Before you go, you said what we guys, it's not for you. We wouldn't be here.
Thank you.
This is internet radio. I didn't even know what internet radio was until I saw you.
I appreciate this.
Not until I saw you, because I've known you way before that.
How many years? I mean, you're only 25.
I know, so it had to be minus.
And we only tell the truth on the station,
That's right.
But we go back to Eric when you were doing school days. And when you started calling in, when Ty started calling in, he did music for me for my segments.
That's right.
And one of them I chose, what is it, Debut? Spike Lee's, and people were calling in saying, "Oh, you shouldn't do that, Debut." I said, "Whoa."
So I think we got to go for a break.
Gotta go for a break. Yeah.
We'll be right back. We want everybody to stay with us.
I might pop back through, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
Whatever.
Stay here.
A break to stay on.
Yeah. Sure.
To say, now's your chance to have your own radio show. Whether you're just starting out or a veteran looking for a professional platform to enhance your presentation, the GoPro Radio Network is the premier place to cultivate and share new and exciting content. We'll help you to grow your audience and keep it growing long after your first broadcast. Now you have a voice. Call 212-696-8562 today or visit www.goproradio.com and you'll be amazed at how easy and affordable it is to have your own radio show on the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio. Listen to the voices in your head.
You're listening to content developed by the GoPro Radio Network, the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head.
And we are back. I'm Kae Thompson, and this is Eric Payne. And we are still here with Brent Buell.
That's it.
Right? Brent Buell, and he's going to be sitting in with us also. Want to tell people, now this is a new segment that we said we're going to be doing, every great now, and then we're going to see how it goes over. And we gave out a number for people to call. We had given out, Shauna, 323-679-0906. Is that still the number?
That is the call-in number.
All right. 323, everyone, 679-0906. And this is, you're on the air, and you're supposed to call and say hi. And you can say a little bit about whatever you want. This is your time.
Right.
So, 323-679-0906. 323-679-0906.
Right.
Kae Thompson here, news, information, education, and global communication issues. And that's what we deal with. But this is fun tonight because there's a party going on here at BW Studios.
GoPro Radio Network.
GoPro Radio
Place
Network.
looks great. I
Yeah.
haven't been here in a little while,
Yeah.
and boy, it just looks
Thanks to Ty
terrific.
Washington, and his fabulous crew.
His crew.
Shauna, Glover, Ayana, I call her me because his name is I, so she's me, Ayana Jones, and Nina, and who else? Sonny Sutherland is listening in. I know, Sonny, we're going to get right back to that
Sonny.
story. You know that.
How you doing, bro?
Yeah.
So I want to continue talking about your book. Now, you said that the gentleman appears as Jesus.
Right. He appears about the middle of the book, or about 100 pages into the book. But he's different than everybody thinks he is, obviously, and he becomes public enemy number one very quickly.
I see.
In the United States. There's a man on death row in Texas named Divine X Marcus, who's a wonderful guy, a devoted Muslim, and he is part of bringing the truth to the world about what is really going on behind the scenes. The wife of the world's richest man, who is there, she comes across and changes lanes and is part of the force. So there's a whole lot of things that happen. It's funny, it's exciting, but the main thing is, even though it's a work of fiction, I have to keep saying that, There's a whole lot
Is
of
it
truth
based
in
on
the
truth?
book.
A lot of truth in there.
Yeah.
Uh,
I can't say that, but yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All
Based
right.
on
So
research that you've
fascinating.
done, it might or might
It might
not.
it might be true.
It might be true.
The
Okay.
scary
Really
thing is,
interesting.
I watch the news every night, I see more and more of it coming true. So, you know,
I'm gonna have to read this book, and I'm not a reader. I read scripts as an actor. I've never been like my mom is an avid reader. My grandfather was. My father's father. My nephew I just spoke to on the phone. They're avid readers. And I never was
Malachi
my nephew
Majestic.
Malachi Majestic. That's
all right.
Star.
Has his own
But
business now out there in Kansas.
I never was a reader until I started acting, and I would read through scripts like, you know. So it's just ironic.
That happens to the-
Hey, Muhammad, can you make more noise? Thanks, bro. There you go.
that happens to the guys inside. You know, they start finding out that scripts are cool to read, and then they start reading
No kidding.
right.
books and novels, and this book happens to be very popular inside at the moment. So
Well, that's great. Yeah, I want to check it out. You know, we talked about prison before, and clearly it's clear now that they have the prison trying to establish the school to prison pipeline.
of course,
With people of minorities in our community, and I happened to see a story just on the internet the other day about a judge who was sentenced to jail for doing that exact same. He was getting kickbacks from the prison corporation to fill up the jails. And he was sending people like kids to jail and adults, just sending them to jail left and right. And here this
It was on the news not too long ago.
I just happened to catch the story on the internet. Here this SOB is sending people up, and he's getting a kickback from people for filling up the prison. It's unbelievable.
So when is he going to jail?
He was
They're
sentenced
working on
to
it
jail.
now?
He was
Good.
sentenced to jail, so he's getting.
we've accepted a situation where we even have these for-profit prisons. Corrections Corporation
Private
of America,
businesses
CCA,
there,
is carried on the New York Stock Exchange.
Yeah.
And when they get a contract with a state, they get a 30-year contract, and they are guaranteed that occupancy will be at 90%.
Good Lord.
So the state is going to be paying to have 90% of that jail full. So if you don't think they're going to want to get their money's
Yeah,
worth,
so
and
in
keep
other words,
those
people
places-
are pressured
Absolutely.
to arrest people.
Absolutely.
And who do
to
they
sentence
who do
people.
they choose mainly to arrest?
Oh, please.
African Americans,
You bet.
It's like
Latinos.
that gentleman who was
Who?
just recently on the news. This guy was a black guy down south somewhere, was arrested by these cops for loitering 254 times. I don't know why he waited to 253 to say something about it. That's my first question. But
Maybe he's getting paid.
the cop would arrest him, and the guy worked at the facility. So the cop would arrest him every time he came out for whatever reason and arrest this guy for trespassing.
Oh, my God.
And
They
give him tickets. Didn't arrest him, but cite him for trespassing, for loitering.
Wow.
Just
That's
like those
almost
kids
like sharpening Barney's.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I used to be a fan of Barney's, but the hell with them.
Come on.
If they're going to exercise. I wish somebody would come up to me in a store and look at me. And usually when I get that following, I'm like, can I help you? Mm-hmm. I mean, I've grown up with a certain air about me, thanks to my mom and my father. So, you know, some people in our community, in certain communities, fall into an accepted or an expected form of behavior.
Yeah.
Some people act like they're second-class citizens. Some people act like they're not supposed to be. Act like they're not the owner. You are as much the owner as they are.
Of course.
You're spending your money. You're giving them their money, so you're their boss.
That's right.
My dream was I was going to call George Bush up and say, Bush, my office now. You know, because these people come off the Chris Christie's, and Chris Christie, I don't agree with him by much. But I have to give him respect because he gave respect to my uncle and my cousin when they had passed away. So I don't look at him. But
That
these
was
people,
Congressman Donald Payne.
these people are so
and
arrogant.
Congressman Donald Payne is now the junior.
Right.
So
Donald Payne Jr.
You know.
So these people are arrogant
are in the
enough,
family,
and
right.
I'm calling out Chris Christie because he comes off with this bluster and this arrogance, even though I respect him for those things, as if you weren't elected, as if you're working for the people that you want to try to curse out or come aggressively at.
Yeah.
Now, if it would be a different story because we'd be arguing, and then you're not going to talk down to me when my tax dollars are paying your salary.
Your salary, that's right.
Are you out of your mind? You don't talk to your boss that way.
Yeah.
And this is the mentality that I think a lot of citizens in our country have. You know, they give so much homage because of the pomp and circumstance about elected officials and things. So people. They bow down to them to a certain degree. Some people, as opposed to speaking the truth to power and coming writing books like you write, and really seeing the system for what it is.
Okay, I want to give the number out. This is your on the air segment, and we're waiting for you to call. Let me give the number for you to call should you want to do so. 323, everyone. Let me see, 679-0906. That's 323-679-0906. And that line is wide open. Once again, 323-679-0906. And this is your time just to call and say hi, say hello. Former dance studio people from New Jersey.
Y'all better
Thompson
call in
Dance
and
Studio.
get in on this conversation.
Yeah, because we're going to talk about you.
So, what do you think, Brent, about the whole concept of prison? Like we were just talking about my mom, and she kind of was talking about it years ago.
Yeah.
For prison, the school to prison pipeline. What are your thoughts on it?
Well,
Having known people inside and working with prisons.
Absolutely. I mean, to me, the answer lies way before this, which is our whole economic system.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have capitalism doesn't work. It does not.
Not for everybody.
No. Yeah. Right. Right.
Not for everybody, Mike.
But you have such a huge part of the population that is either worked to death or can't find work, and we expect them to fight just as hard as everybody else. It doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And when you already have a system which is racist to the core,
Mm-hmm.
those are the people that are going to be preyed upon. And I remember, I mean, I'd known for a long time. I worked with Al Sharpton for 3 years, so I knew a lot about things that were going on.
Mm-hmm.
But the first time I went into Sing Sing, I walked down a hallway, and 200 men are going this direction, I'm going that direction, and I don't see a single white face. It's
Mhm.
only black people. And I remember I walked out of that prison, and I cried like a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Because to see it visually,
Right.
what we're doing,
Right.
and then to take away all their rights, everything else, so that when they come back out on the street, they, already having been knocked down for all that time,
Mhm.
have got such enormous hurdles to get over.
Right.
Coming back out. And I respect the guys that come out, and so many I know are coming out and they're getting jobs, they're doing
Mhm.
working hard, and they're doing well, and they're staying out. But everything is stacked against them.
Yeah, but you know one thing, what happens with that is that people who hear about this and who know about the prison system, and having been on WLI BBLS, for a number of years, I know Al Sharpton quite well,
And Eddie Ellis.
I have a lot of respect for him because, he is really making marks, and he's telling the truth, and he's telling it like it is. So congratulations, Al. Want to interview you, give me a ring. Okay, and but this whole prison system, it is a new form of, damn it, slavery. And the
Right.
majority of those enslaved people, in jail are, African Americans.
Yeah.
And then you have the Latino Americans. And then you have American Indians in there. And there's, sure, whites are in there, but they're not in, numbers the
Not
way
in those
African Americans.
numbers.
This is a new form of slavery.
Absolutely.
And we have to really address this.
People don't realize, too.
It's
That-
ruining families. It's ruining
Oh.
kids. Like, for instance, the stop and frisk. I am so glad that de Blasio is
Yeah.
in office, because he's going to put a stop to this.
Yep.
If he doesn't, we're going to keep him to it.
He better do it.
Because
He
he has
better do it.
he has the family. He has the interracial,
Beautiful
global family.
Beautiful family.
Yeah.
And the stop and frisk is so foul, as was the Central Park 5.
My son is black, and they throw him against a wall,
Yeah.
take his bag, dump all the stuff on the ground, find nothing, and go, okay, you're free to go. But he's the one
Right.
that has to
A lot
kneel
of the
down
people in
and
the
pick up
police
his stuff.
department are sick.
Right. What happens
You
is
know?
that what I've noticed in growing up and having people, parents and relatives that are active in the civil rights and being active in the community is that a lot of people don't have any recourse. That's what I've always said. And what I mean by that is that if you don't have someone you can call when your son has that experience, if you, as his father, don't know someone at the precinct or in the mayor's office to say, hey, this is what happened, which is what a lot of Caucasian Americans have that access. They'll call up
Sure.
and say, listen, this is what happened to my son. It better not happen again. My tax dollars pay your salary. It better not happen again. When you have recourse, what happens then, and I've seen it a lot, is that person that receives the call then calls the next person and said, hey, the person you stopped earlier today was so-and-so's son, was so-and-so's friend. Who talk to that officer, get in his you-know-what, let him know, don't do that again. So therefore, now, like us, when we walk around, if I say my last name, if I'm pulled over in New Jersey for no reason, and I happen to say my last name, it's going to be a different story than if I'm just Joe Black to you.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people in our society, they don't have any recourse, and unfortunately, they're the wrong type of individuals that are able to get on our law enforcement and in these type of jobs, and also individuals that just we don't give human beings mutual respect anymore.
When you were talking about the politicians and who works for them.
1 minute to break.
One of the things that happens, and people don't realize this, is that when a man is in a prison upstate New York, near the border, he's counted as the population of that county. Mm-hmm. Those upstate counties depend on the tax monies coming up there because they have X number of people.
Also.
It's all political.
You see?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So families are having to travel 8 hours by bus to get up there and see their loved ones.
We're waiting for a call if you're going to try to make that call again, if you can, Shauna, in there, you know. Okay, we're going to be taking a break. We're going for a break right now. Kae Thompson live here with Eric Payne and with
Brent Buell.
Brent Buell. Brent.
Say that 10 times over.
Brent Buell. That's tricky. And the name of his books is Raptures. Okay, we'll be right back, everyone. Stay with us.
The fastest growing network in the galaxy is leaner and meaner with a new attitude, new technology, and a brand new lineup. Tune in and get wired every Wednesday, starting at 5 p.m. Eastern with the BCS Experience featuring Byron C. Saunders, formerly of New York City's WBAI. Then at 6 p.m., it's the Black Agenda TV Express featuring sought-out political commentator Glenn Ford, formerly of America's Black Forum. Then at 8 p.m., it's time for Kae Thompson Live with the legendary radio host Kae Thompson of Inner City Broadcasting's WLIB and her son, renowned actor Eric Payne, who starred in such films as Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing, Drop Squad, and many more. Then at 9 p.m., it's Food Rap featuring Nina Markel, a.k.a. the unofficial mayor of Jersey City, and former Viacom marketing guru Shauna Glover. Last but not least, at 10 p.m. Eastern, it's the Sexy Party Show with the bad boy of dating Mr. Locario of I Love New York fame and his partner in crime, Miles Cunningham. So get wired every Wednesday from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern only on the GoPro Radio Network, www.goproradio.com. Listen to the voices in your head.
You're listening to content developed by the GoPro Radio Network, the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head.
And we're back, everyone. We're back, Kae Thompson Live here, and we're talking to Brent Buell, and the name of his book is Rapturous, and it's about the jail system. What we're going to be doing is giving out the number for you to call in, 323-679-0906, and I think there's probably a few people, trying to get in and probably can't because my cell phone has been, here on
Magic Jack customer you have called is unavailable to take your call.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not going to try that again.
Yeah, we're trying to get, and it's, Gina.
We'll catch him when we catch him.
Yeah, Gina, we're trying to get through, but we're getting that call in.
Okay.
So if you can call 323-679-0906, there's so many people who have called and told me that they were going to be calling in, and they can't get through. But I want to say a few other things here about Bethany Baptist Church, in Newark. They're going to be having their Jazz Vespers. This is a church by Reverend Bill Howard, wonderful minister in Newark, who has a charter school and has the 3rd and 4th graders in doing things with the New Jersey Symphonic Orchestra. They're learning how to do the violin, play the violin, and a number of other things. Plus, he was the main person who came to see Gus Hedingberg Sr., when he was in the hospital.
Right.
Plus the fact that he also has, as I said, Jazz Vespers in the church. So, we want to give him credit. We want to give credit to Bogey's and Lottie's Restaurant and Bogey's and Reuben Johnson,
And also Vonda's Kitchen.
Vonda's Kitchen on West Kenny Street in Newark.
183 West Kenny, and Bogey's Restaurant and Lounge, 527 William Street in East Orange, New Jersey, with Lottie's up in there.
Lottie's in East Orange. But I just wanted to say also, I wanted to say hello to the Cashmeres. So many of them have called and they were on the show. Cashmeres. Players, pure plural. They'll have a fit. There are a few of them, 6 or 7. At least they'll have a fit. All right. Also, Malachi Majestic, just talking to him.
That's right.
From Kansas, he's, has a business out there. They do battle rap.
Battle rap.
Battle
and they
rap.
do the Throne Room. It's called their Battle Rap League.
Out there in Kansas.
And they're quite popular.
Yeah.
Cool.
And what he did that for, I said, well, why are you doing battle rap? Because I didn't know anything about battle rap, So he finally told me that, we just tell people that, tell the kids that, instead of you fighting each other.
That's right.
You do these battle raps against each other, and then you win and you don't win, and you it's a contest.
Yeah.
And it's terrific.
And these guys, when you hear these kids, there's guys and girls and they're rapping and their command of language.
Yeah.
It's not textbook. It's not school book. I say that. What I mean by that is that they would be looked upon differently in a school setting. But these guys are out here and they're putting these words together. And the metaphors that they come up with are just as brilliant, as what they learn in school.
And I don't know how their minds work that fast. I do not know.
Exactly.
You throw something and they pick it up and they go with it.
Exactly.
Right. Also want to say to Reverend Jethro James, Paradise Baptist Church, he does a lot of different programs with his church and whatnot. And also, what else? By the way, we're going to be okay, we have a call, but I just want to say this now. We're going to be releasing a lot of the tapes and the shows that I've done years ago with Reverend Wyatt T. Walker, Minister Farrakhan, Al Sharpton, let me see who else. Loads of people.
Wow.
Dr. Ben, Dr. Yusuf Ben Yeknan.
Of course.
Dr. Ivan Sertimer, Dr. John Henry Clark. I have them all in one show. And Dr. Len Gunther in a part 1 and a part 2 and all that sort of thing. And then Gil Noble and Gus Henningsberg on a show together for the first time ever.
Really?
And I have those, including with our whole media log. We'll go through that later. We have a caller. Yes, you're on the air. Hello, Gina.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
It's Scott calling. I'm good. How are you?
Good. Did you hear us talking about this new book?
I heard part of it and then I lost my internet connection.
I see.
The book about the incarceration of people because because the private sector is taking over a lot of.
Is that
that was a discussion that came afterwards? But the novel does have to do with includes things about prison, but it's not primarily that. It's about what's going on in the world today as such. So.
We were talking about the discussion previously where we got kind of off into was the school to prison pipeline that it seems to be going on in the United States in certain areas in the country, and Brent does work with prisons and has various programs going on trying to help people in the prison system and express themselves and things like that. And so we were talking about that. Is that something that you might...
What's the name of the book again?
Rapturous.
The name of
Rapturous. Rapturous. It's a work of fiction by Brent Buell. I want to say Brent Buell.
I know everybody wants to put an R in there. It's all right.
Brent Buell, and he's talking about the prison system. It's a book of fiction, but it sounds absolutely fascinating.
You can go to www.rapturousthenovel.com and read sample chapters and find out more, or you can just go on Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com and buy it right there.
Yeah.
Now, are you a resident of New York, Brent?
Yeah, I am. I live in Manhattan.
So you said you have a black son.
Yes.
So I guess Bill de Blasio was a welcome.
Oh, man.
Because we started talking about stop and frisk. And you talked about your son being stopped and frisked and his bag being dumped out. So
that's right.
Gina, whenever you want to get in on this conversation,
hop in, Gina. Just to recap, Gina, Brent, as I said, has a black son, and we were talking about stop and frisk, and he's totally for the new mayor of New York because as fathers, white fathers of sons who are part black, they have a vested interest. They don't want their sons to be, as any father doesn't want their children, white or black, Asian, Hispanic, whatever. You don't want your kids stopped, as you know, as the mother of two black boy teenagers now. And the fact that they have a mayor in New York City who wants to do away with that policy because it's directly affected his family, probably. He was concerned about it.
Well, we've had 24 years of ugly and mean, so I think it's time for something else.
Exactly.
Okay, Gina, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, well, of course, that's a topic that every parent, it's a fear that, every parent, but especially a parent of black children, black boys, and within that demographic, the thought of them being profiled because of just very simply because they're black, not knowing anything about them, their personalities, where they're going, what they're doing, or anything like that. So, of course, it is odd, and it's unfortunate that it takes the validation of a white mayor or a father who happens to be white of a black child to validate what black people have been saying and experiencing,
Amen.
through all of our lives. So, thankfully you can bring that light to the issue for people who need that sort of validation. But it's unfortunate that we have to go through this. There's we talk about the posts on social media has a huge impact on the news and what people are talking about. And there's another post that I saw that came up that said that it was a picture of a white male in his between 50 and 65, and it said something that the caption read something to the effect that since the statistics show that people listen to me more so than any other group, let me be the one to tell you that XYZ is wrong. And it was amusing, but it's unfortunate that, unfortunately we have to be validated by, a white male, something that we've been going through all of this time. But of course you can sympathize because your son is black. So, it's an issue that all parents of children of color have to go through. So thankfully this mayor, has a vested interest in this with his son with the huge afro, I might add.
Isn't that nice?
It's hilarious.
He had a nice fro too. That kind of fro we tried to get back in the day, boy.
I was wondering about him, when I was seeing, the stories about him, running in the election and so forth and so on. You get ready to say, oh yeah. And then I was watching the commercial, and the kid was saying, even though you are my father, and he had this big afro. I said, he just won the election.
He did.
With his son with that afro. He just won the election.
That's
so,
right.
That's the way things go.
Initially they had a version of that commercial without him saying that's my son. Before that.
And I'd like to know who was the brain behind putting this kid on, to finally say.
And then apparently they recut it or they left that part in, because I remember seeing one commercial where
they were just sitting.
I was like, they're just sitting
Gina
there. Gina
is on.
Why is he okay? Why is he talking to this black kid? Why is he walking down the street? At first, I saw him walking down the street with the kid. I was like, oh, he's trying to relate to the black community.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. And kid's got a big fro. You don't really put immediately
it's like that time George Bush actually met a black person. I know.
Yeah. So, and then when they came loose with my son, I was like, my man.
He just got a lot. It was really just funny.
But it was kind of cool that he didn't, just exploit that in the beginning. He left us wondering, like, well, okay, he's just hanging around with black dudes or whatever.
Just another white guy. Who cares? Sorry, Brent.
That's all right.
He has some awareness to it. But you know what? It's interesting talking about perceptions, and I want to bring it around to the fact that you've put all over Facebook and posted nicely, rightfully so, that this is the segment that you're calling. What is it called again?
You're on the air.
What's the... So you're on the air.
Yeah.
So people who are on Facebook, who I know are on right now because people are hitting me up, give us a call.
They can't get through.
And, let us know that you're listening. But also, let me finish, Ma, is that you mentioned about the Thompson Dance Studio.
Yeah.
You're online, so you're hoping to have a lot of your students, people who don't know, my mother had Kae Thompson, our mother had the Thompson Dance Studio, which is ballet.
It's revealed now.
Okay, she's calling from Bermuda.
Modern dance and modern jazz forever. So there's a lot of students who are online, who are friends online, who are in the talk group and everything, who we're hoping that will call in and give some recounts of the Thompson Dance Studio with my Aunt Pat, who since passed away, and my mother. And let me tell you some of the comments already to the picture that my Kim posted of you and Pat. And of course, there's so many students who are commenting on this blog. I wish they would call in talking about how much the experience of them going to Thompson Dance Studio and learning ballet and learning from you and Pat in particular has really helped them with their lives. So I want to just piggyback on that topic about perceptions, talking about perceptions, about the, tying in this whole conversation. When we grew growing up and having gone to ballet since we could walk, having lived in a white neighborhood, do you know that I had no idea that white people did ballet?
Well, listen, you're talking to one who doesn't, so.
Gina, I never knew that.
I didn't know that. I really didn't know white people did ballet. It wasn't until like I don't know, I saw like the American School of Ballet or whatever, and I kind of went in there and I kind of laughed. I was like, ha, they're trying to do ballet in here. Come to find out, of course, the Russian School of Ballet is where ballet, originated. And
well,
so
if you want to call that, okay.
Perception, the way that we were brought up, that I just assumed that all these wonderful ballet dancers were. I thought it was a black thing. So that was just an interesting, perception.
And since you now know better, especially with the evolutionary, theories that where man came from and all that kind of stuff.
And the funny thing about perception too. Yeah. And just before we go to this break, we have conversely, the first time that I can remember, and this might be a little racist too, seeing white people that really got down dancing, other than on TV, was when I went to a club called the Paradise Garage in New York City. Maybe you might have heard about it back in the day.
Of course.
Old house school, the legendary
2
garage.
blocks from my house.
So there you go, in the Village. And that was the first time that I went down and was seeing some white people get down. I was walking through the crowd like, whoa, they are, getting down funky with it, I was like, wow. And then obviously, if you're in a dance class, and as I grew up and joined the dance group in college, and watching some people come and audition for the dance group, you realize not all black people have rhythm. So
having grown up watching Pat Boone dance, that'll give you pause forever.
You had to wonder for a minute. Yeah, good old Pat. God bless him. He's an outstanding.
Before my time.
Outstanding.
Yeah. Well, I saw old tapes.
Hold on, Gina. We will be right back. We have to take a break here on GoPro Radio. Who's in charge here?
Kae Thompson
Washington is
show.
in charge. And and Ayana is in the control room. She's in there dying laughing. Why are you laughing?
Because she's wondering.
We love you too, Ayana.
Should we take a break now?
We'll be right back. Hold on, Gina. We'll be right back, everyone. Stay with us.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you a great opportunity. If you have a product or a service, a talent or something important to say, now's your chance to have your very own radio show. Whether you're just starting out, a veteran looking for a professional platform to enhance your presentation, the GoPro Radio Network is the premier place to cultivate and share new and exciting content. We'll help you to grow your audience and keep it growing long after your first broadcast. Now you have a voice. Call 212-696-8562 today or visit www.goproradio.com and you'll be amazed at how easy and affordable it is to have your very own show on the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head.
You want to know the truth, folks? Do you really want to know the truth? Well, perhaps you can't handle the truth. But if you can listen to GoPro Radio. Tune in at www.goproradio.com. Now, have I made myself clear?
GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head. I know I do.
You're listening to content developed by the GoPro Radio Network, the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head.
And we are back. Kae Thompson Live, and I'm Kae Thompson, and
I'm Eric Payne. How are you?
I'm fine.
And I'm Gina Payne Scott.
Gina Payne Scott is on the line, calling in from Bermuda. It's a family affair.
Can I talk real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
I'm sorry if I'm talking over you guys because there's a slight delay, so I apologize if while you're talking I start talking because I can only hear you afterwards. Yeah. Listen, I just want to give the number again: 323-679-0906. 323-679-0906. 679-0906. And I'm giving that because someone just popped up on Facebook saying, what's the number, even though it's all over there, but just in case you're listening. Listen, some of the stuff I wanted to ask, Mom, I've always wanted to know this, even though I was there, but I was young, and I remember when did you start the Thompson Dance Studio? How did you start it? Why did you start it? And what's your background in dancing?
Let's see. It started after the riots in Newark. I think that was in, 68, 69, something like that? Was that it? Shortly after that. And, because we wanted to give the kids in where we were living, an opportunity to, for arts and, dance and whatnot. And we opened it up on, let me see, where did we open it up first? Well, we were at the Leaguer Building, and then we were on, a couple other places.
Then you moved to
before we got the place on Bergen and Lyons Avenue in South Ward of Newark.
I thought it was the Leaguers, and then after
Leaguers
the Leaguers
first, Leaguer Building.
Then after the Leaguer was someplace else?
Yeah, I think from the Leaguer's building, we went to, Bergen and Lyons in Newark.
Right.
And which is where, the whole political thing was going on very hot and heavy also. And we opened it up, and we had people just gravitated to it because there weren't any dance studios in New Jersey that was taking black children.
Right.
And of course I was very, very insulted with that.
Well,
and I had studied in New York, and I remember being over at the 92nd Street Y when Alvin Ailey was over there, taking classes.
Thank you.
So that's how far back we go with this. And I always wanted to be a prima ballerina of the Western world. And when I started taking African dance, of course, that changed really fast. So, and then
because from what I recall, the level of instruction that we got was like world class. I remember Carl Shook.
Sure.
Used to teach. And
he was a mentor.
He would beat that
mentor
drum.
for Arthur Mitchell. He was a mentor for Arthur Mitchell. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, looking back on it now and watching videos online and stuff, there were some pretty, pretty impressive people that we were taught by.
Yeah.
So a lot of these comments that are online are warranted. People just commenting, giving so many compliments about how, that time in their life going to Thompson Dance Studio, being mentored and taught by you and Pat was just, some of the best things that they had. But can you also, what do you feel about the performing arts in schools and how important that is?
Let me say this real quick, Gina, because you brought up a good point. I saw somebody else on one of the pages that commented on that picture we're talking about with Mommy and Pat. And one of the women, I forget it, maybe Robin Savage or something like that.
It could have been.
mentioned that that dance school for a lot of them at that time.
Yeah, Robin.
Was like almost like a finishing school, charm school.
Yeah.
Because as part of the lessons of learning to be a dancer, and they taught a lot of the young women how to hold themselves up, how to walk, how to present themselves. So it really was at that time something that was really needed within the community, and a lot of your fellow dance classmates and dance classes and stuff, they went on to do some really good things, and a lot of them are really very accomplished women in their life. Grace Spencer is an assemblywoman here in New Jersey, her and her sister Lavinia, and their mom was always real supportive. So a lot of them went through Thompson Dance Studio and really came out to be really productive and really accomplished women.
You opened dance studios, Cynthia Kennedy out in Hawthorne, New Jersey.
A couple of people opened dance schools, and Jackie Kuntz, I think, in Florida. So
their name is Jai Hinson now in Clearwater, Florida.
Right, and so a lot of them, they came through and they were able to get that, not only the dance and then the physical education, but also the finishing, the poise. That a lot of them, and I think that
shall we go into another area when there was live horses on the stage, Eric?
Yeah, but I was just trying to get back to Gina's question for you. That what was it again, Gina? We got 3 minutes before we go off.
Yeah.
Really briefly, ask her the question.
Yeah, well, talking about the live horses, just about the whole aspect of the performing arts. Because we did ballet, but then we had, people call them recitals, but your shows were concerts.
They were concerts
at Newark Symphony Hall, and so they were themed. And so I think the one that you were just alluding to was called the circus theme, and you had live horses and stuff.
And we had Brazilian and African dancing and that whole thing. It was quite a time, And people were saying, you reinvented yourself from, like talk radio. I was on talk radio with WLIB-BLS for a number of years. Did the show out of in New Jersey, persuaded them to come and have a Jersey studio, and we went into the Parsnet room, once a month.
Okay, but you were on LIB first.
Yeah, LIB. Then I did some things on BLS
in New York.
In New York.
Then you eventually, just to give people the chronological order, so we want to get this right. You were already on the air already before you moved to Newark and broadcast out of Newark. Then you went back and were broadcasting out, but all during that time.
Channel 47, Canal Corriente
right.
7,
but all
with
during
New Jersey Press Conference.
all during the time of your radio thing was on there. But we got a minute to go.
We'll pick this up next week.
And we had a real good discussion.
Yeah.
What's going on, Bermuda? You want to say goodbye from Bermuda? 30 seconds.
Hey, goodbye from Bermuda.
Tell.
Yeah, but let's pick up the conversation next week for sure. Let some people call in and
Okay. Majestic is listening in.
Tell those guys I hate the Cowboys and the Patriots. So.
Dallas, take care of you.
Nah.
Hope Brianna listen. 1 minute to the end.
All right, we're gonna wrap
Ayana's
it
telling
up.
us. What is it? The food show coming?
That's my sister out there in
Hot
Bermuda,
dog.
y'all.
Food rap is coming up.
And we're going out now. Thanks for listening to the Kae Thompson Live Show on GoPro Radio. My name is Eric Payne.
I'm Kae Thompson. Join us again.
And thanks for coming.
Sanchez.
Next week, call in. Don't miss out. Be there, or like the old folks say, be square.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio.